guys, welcome back to Clockwork Noodles for another breakdown of Spy X Family, core number 2, episode number 9. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Just under a month before Christmas, and then the new year's gonna come rolling in, which means we have a new anime season starting to brew on the horizon, which is really scary because I can remember when I just did the halfway review, and now I should be looking at the end of season review and what's coming up. I have made a list of what's coming up next season. There's a lot going on, but there's not too much I want to break down. We'll see what I've got. I'm bound to find something that I think you guys will be interested in. Make sure you are subscribed though, so you don't miss out on that. And let's get going because we are introduced to a new character this week, Nightfall / Fiona. She's quite a scary lady. She definitely made a very big impact this episode. She wants to off Yor. Initially, it comes across as her trying to outdo Twilight, her cover story. She believes that Yor is undermining the operation, so she believes that she can do a better job. Even though she is told by Handler, Lloyd having another wife or bouncing between wives would be seen as not favourable. It wouldn't look good. And you can imagine how Eden is going to respond, especially our headmaster who thinks things are elegant. It's not very elegant to suddenly have a new wife or have another one bump off, or you start looking at Lloyd going, where are his wives going? Yor is still struggling to cook. I did wonder if her tea would be okay because she brews tea this week, but she seems to have managed that one on her own. But I was a bit confused because I believe that Lloyd would probably smell the smell of burning because that egg seemed savable, rescuable. There we go. It did feel like the egg could have been rescued just by a little bit of smelling and noticing the egg was going black. I did like the tension when we suddenly have the women face to face to one another. It's a nice use of silence as well because at this point we don't really have any information on Fiona. We know that she wants to off Yor, whether this is physically or metaphorically. But we just stood there. We got the silence wondering, is she going to go and kill her? Is she going to come up against the assassin Yor, work out that she's assassin because she's going to fight back? And I definitely think Yor would hold her own. Uncomfortable conversation between the two because Fiona goes straight for the attack. She starts to work out where the sore spots are, work out if she can find a point of contention with Yor to start attacking it and trying to lay those seeds of doubt. And it's all about applying pressure because she actually finds out that Yor has fears that she's not pulling her weight. And then she just jumps straight to it. She doesn't waste any time and she just says he was complaining at work. She goes into lie because he probably hasn't said anything. She wants to add to those superstitions. If you're already worrying about something and you suddenly hear a complete stranger from work say, oh yeah, your husband was saying something about this yesterday, your worries are going to go through the roof. The next sequence required me to pause the screen an awful lot. We've got the normal conversation and the undercover conversation between our two spies, seeing these two almost wanting to see fire in their eyes as they kind of go at it. Passes off as a conversation about buying things from the supermarket, but my goodness, it was a hard conversation to read at the same time as seeing the writing on the screen and then have all the subtitles on the screen. It was moving really fast, but you can see how suspicious Lloyd is immediately. He's off to the offensive. Obviously, he's panicking because Fiona's in his house and he knows she's a spy and he's wondering why she's there, and it seems that she's very angry initially. But let's talk about the hidden twist. What's underneath the surface? What is really going on? Like me, like Becky, she is madly, deeply in love with Lloyd and wants to be his wife because she wants to be his wife. And obviously this is coming across as her trying to outdo him. Maybe it's appearing like she's very cold and she is the femme fatale, as they say. But it is all about lovey-dovey, and the love is so bright that Anya ends up losing her colour. I love this moment. And she dreams about being Lloyd's ideal partner. I did like the inside fantasies that Fiona ends up having, but it does show you a lot about the character as a whole, how she wants to be perfect. There is this talk about Lloyd having a grey hair check. I think we've seen quite a bit throughout the entire season that Lloyd is stressed. Probably no wonder that Lloyd probably is gaining some greys, so it does make you wonder if he has any greys. But it does feel to me that Fiona is Yuri. So Yuri is in love with his sister too much, and Fiona is madly in love with Lloyd. Obviously, she's not actually related to him, so one is definitely a lot better than the other one. But they both seem this very obsessive type, so each of the main characters has got a obsessive person in the shadows lusting for them. I do love the composition in this moment where we see Yor's panic starting to set in as the damage is already done. We can see in one pane we've got the two together, and then Yor is in the corner panicking, wondering, am I really just that bad? Is he really, talking about me at work and I'm letting him down? I'm doing bad as a mother. She starts to panic that that he needs a more capable wife. The natural response is what she starts to get, where she starts to get a bit jealous, a bit panicky as well. Compositions was quite nice as well. There's a lot of nice compositions this week. But the level of overthinking this week is on a whole different level. Poor Lloyd. Thinking about poor Lloyd, who's suffering again from more tummy pains due to the cooking. It does also make the cover he initially used as being on a toilet all day more a reality, that he probably does spend time on a toilet. I mean, he's a spy, yes, but he's still human, and if he's eating really bad food on a day-to-day basis, he probably is having a few internal issues in that department. Anya coming in to save the day is absolutely hilarious as she starts to fear for her life at the idea of having a military mother. To me, this just felt like a continuation of her upbringing as a test subject. If Fiona was the mother, she would only see Anya as part of the mission, and you will do this. You're a gambit within this mission. You're not actually a person with feelings or anything. But I did like the fact that she goes straight to Yor to give her a encouragement, hug and snuggle into her lap, because at this point, Yor isn't feeling so great. She's very self-conscious. But it's nice to see that Anya is now working against Fiona, trying to get her to get the message that she's happy with Yor being her mum and not her. The cat hiss when she hisses at Fiona, I like that. That was absolutely hilarious. A great response. Anya laying it on too thick in these situations is never going to be a situation that gets too old. I really like how thick she pretty much pours it right on. Lloyd does state that it's very important that Anya has somebody that she likes, and that's why Yor is doing all she can, and he already sees her as doing enough. More about making sure that you appear as a real family and be more like a real family, and then appearing as a fake perfect family for the mission. Being too perfect in this family for the mission would appear more suspicious than having a real family who have got faults, and I really like that. As we said before, Eden really wouldn't like having a third wife in the picture. It just wouldn't work. Nightfall has missed the boat. Absolutely love the framing and lighting in this sequence as we see the student and teacher relationship between Lloyd and Nightfall. Essentially, Fiona has grown up to love and admire her tutor, but I don't think she's ever actually seen the real Lloyd in any of this. She's seen all the characters, she never really mentions Lloyd as a whole, and I think at one point she tries to state that the real Lloyd is peeking through. I don't think she truly knows what the real Lloyd is like. Absolutely beautiful shot in the rain. I really, really like this one. I think it's amazing. As we have the rain and the hair, it's just a gorgeous shot. I think this is the money shot of the episode. Hiding her feelings under the rain, which is all part of the job of being a spy. I think Lloyd may have noticed the real feelings because it looks like she's crying. I don't think he's that stupid because he tries to stop her, but then she walks off and states that the next mission is going to be good. She states that she wants to be his wife, etc. The soundtrack at this point is absolutely gorgeous. Everything about this sequence was really, really nice. We are going to catch up with her again in the next episode, so she's not gone for very long. But let's move on to the uplifting ending to the episode. I say uplifting, it's quite sad for poor Penguin. But Anya shows us why cartoons can really just destroy our feelings. Rest in peace, Penguin. A moment, guys. A moment of just silence. Penguin, you are gone too soon. In cartoon and in real life, because Bond's jealousy ends up killing the poor Penguin. Anya then ends up declaring that she hates him. It's our first falling out between these two, which is sad. We do see Yor trying to make things better, but sadly, as always, things get off even worse, so she can't really cook also. But rest in peace, Penguin, because he really just didn't deserve the fate, because it gets even worse, and then he ends up looking a bit like a Frankenstein's monster. Lloyd can sew, which makes him absolutely perfection in my eyes anyway, because I also sew. I like the way that he lays it off. This is war wounds. These are the wounds, the badge of honor. He sees how she doesn't really want the Penguin, and then he makes it she can appreciate what the Penguin has been through, which is, I think, a bit of a metaphor for what's actually going on with the idea of war. Bond and Anya do make up after having their first ever argument, and I love the fact that Anya does eventually come around to apologise for speaking quite rudely to her doggy, but then Bond tries to also do it as well. Lloyd recites a line from Bondman, showing that he cares and actually does pay attention to what Anya likes, which shows he really is a good dad. I thought that was a really nice moment because he didn't have to say the line. The argument was between the dog and Anya, not really him. It was a nice little touch of having him coming in and also stating that, well, everything's ending in peace. Wondering if things could just be this easy in real life. I do wonder if this is going to be a foreshadow for eventually we're going to have peace. I don't know how far ahead the material is or whether world peace has been attained. I do hope at some point in the future world peace can be attained. But that would also mean that the mission is going to be over. Spy X Family would be no more. Who knows? Maybe I'm hoping that peace doesn't come quick, but does come swift. but hopefully enough for Anya to grow up at least with a loving family, even if it is fake, until she's a bit older. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed the introduction of Nightfall. I thought she was cool. I don't really like her as a character too much, but I have a feeling she will definitely warm upon me, hopefully next episode. But I also think I'm not going to like her again because I have a feeling she's trying to usurp Lloyd. I know that she believes that he's faking it and he's not actually with Yor or anything, but it's the mission right now, and they've already stated that it's not a good idea if you do something, so just listen to your superiors. You're jeopardizing world peace, so stop it. We will see how next week goes, whether I have a better opinion of her next week, but I have a sinking feeling that I don't like the character very much, but we will see. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a great weekend and you're looking after yourselves. I will see you guys again for another breakdown next week. Bye bye, guys.